Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Loyd, and welcome to Gut Pain Homology. And we think we've got some great information for you tonight. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you're comfortable. And like last week, we're going to try to give you a lot in a short period of time. If you're new to us, we believe we can save you a bunch of money. We can help you feel better fast. All right. That's what we're about. Okay. And we believe we've got the tools that can help you do that regardless of what your situation is. We can help you feel better fast. Okay. And we've been talking about a nutritional, three nutritional things that can provide about 95%, according to experts, not according to me, according to experts, doctors, researchers, scientists, about 95% of your daily needs for nutrition, for fruits, for vegetables, for calcium, and about 95% of those one daily things like vitamin C, D, E, and we talked about that last week. If you missed that, go to the replay, which is on YouTube at Dr. Alexander Loyd. At Dr. Alexander Loyd, go to YouTube and then type in Dr. Alexander Loyd, and every one of the shows are archived there, and there's bullets about what that show is about. And the last one was about one nutritional thing that can provide all your fruits, all your vegetables, and so much more, almost all of your one daily stuff. I've gone from taking like 20 something things every day to taking about 5. And the 3 that we're talking about are 3 of those 5. So I've been able to save like $500 a month on what I was spending personally, and am healthier and better. And if you try this, you should start to feel better almost immediately, and we guarantee it in 7 days or your money back. That's pretty decent. I'm not sure where else you can find feel better in 7 days or your money back, but you can here. Okay. So the good looking guy on my other side, and I'm not sure if it's my left or right, the way you're looking at it, I think you're seeing it as on my right, is Dr. Tim Adair, who I believe, and many others too, is the top practicing chiropractor in the world. Now, Dr. Josh Axe would be considered the top most famous chiropractor in the world. He doesn't practice anymore, but he is a very good friend of mine for over 10 years. And he and Jordan Rubin, Dr. Jordan Rubin, who's been a friend of mine for about 17 years, own Ancient Nutrition, one of the top 5 nutrition companies in the world. And they are partnering with Dr. Adair and I to create what we believe will be the largest natural health network in the world. And we're going to provide all the tools that people need to become healthier very, very fast. We believe this will change the face of chiropractic, naturopathic medicine, around the world in the next 5 years. So I believe you're getting it sort of in advance. Now, you've heard Dr. Adair say several times that we're saving the best to last. And tonight is the last, at least as far as these 3 things are concerned. Tonight is the 3rd and final of the 3. So next week, we'll be on to a brand new topic that I think will be very interesting, and for a lot of you, life-changing next week. But this week is what Dr. Adair has been telling you. We've been saving the best till last. All right. So, and this is it. It's time. It's time for the best. It's time for the last. So, Tim, let me bring you out, and I've got a question for you as you start. Okay. We're talking about collagen peptides tonight, which are fantastic, right? And they are the 3rd of the 3, but these are not just normal. This is not just normal collagen. This is not just normal protein, okay? This is way beyond that. and until recently has not existed in the world in this form that you could buy it and increase your health daily by using it and be able to tell the difference in 5 to 7 days. Most nutritions you take 6 months and you can't tell much difference. That's why I've never done nutrition for 23 years. This nutrition, you won't tell a difference in 6 months. You'll tell a difference in 6 days, typically. We say 7, 6 or 7, okay? So, Tim, here's the question I want to bring you out with. What is the one most important thing about collagen peptides that we're talking about tonight?
10-4, good buddy.
What?
10-4, good buddy.
Wow, what are you talking about? You're messing up the show. What are you talking about?
You told me you wanted me to be more brief with my explanations. I just said 10-4, good buddy.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Will you please?
So Alex, let me elaborate just a little bit. So if we're going to do the best collagen in the world, the reason I say 10-4 is I want you are my good buddy, but for my buddy to be good, you better have the right type of collagen. This collagen there's 25, 30 types of collagen. The 10 most important are in this formula, and it comes from 4 sources. So you wanted me to be brief. 10-4.
10-4. Okay. 10.
I was trying to channel my inner
say that again. Yeah. Say that again. I think a lot of people miss that.
10 types of collagen that are in this product, which is actually loaded. A lot of products have a couple, 3, 1, whatever. 10 types of collagen from 4 sources. Okay. Now here, and did you like my hat?
10-4. 10-4, good buddy.
Yeah. But now, so if I turn it around here, I'm channeling my Navy SEAL here. So do you know what SEAL stands for?
Sea, air, land.
Okay, sea, earth, air, land. Okay.
Sea, earth, air, land.
So the 4 types here are so C is we have hydrolyzed fish collagen. Fish collagen is so all the fish stuff is neuroprotective. So like if we're worried about like dementia and this and that building blocks. So earth, we can go with our bovine source, and really I guess we could go egg on the fermented hydrolyzed egg on that. And then air is chickens, right?
So whoa, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. A chicken has wings, right? So
doesn't that mean it can fly?
Chicken has wings. Can it fly?
For our purposes, we're going to say chickens fly. And so,
always wanted the chicken to fly.
So I'm trying to keep this simple. You're throwing me off here. So a couple things I wanted to get into. We'll stop being silly and we'll try to teach you a little something here to benefit people. But I wanted to leave everybody with 10-4, good buddy, right? Because if you want to be my good buddy, you better have those 10 types of collagen from those 4 sources. And Navy SEALs are as tough as nails. And if you want to be put together like a Navy SEAL, you better get your collagen from those 4 sources. So that's what I came up with. So I'm through, Alex. I'm going to go out to eat with my wife tonight. And my part is done. You ready to let me off the hook?
All right. By the way, Denise said, awesome. The 10-4.
There you go.
Awesome. 10-4.
So really, if that's all you got and you just did it, it would work. But let's go a little deeper than that. And so if I can get elaborate without taking too much time, I would like for everybody to know a few things. So collagen is the glue that holds us all together. And colla actually means it's a derivative of a Greek word that means glue. And gen is Genesis, or to create. So it creates the glue that holds us all together. But now here's the kicker. So all of our diseases now, or most of our diseases now, are diseases of abundance. We eat too much. We have too much cholesterol, too much sugar, too much insulin, too much everything. And so we have lots of obesity, lots of body fat, lots of tumors that grow from lipogenesis, and all these abundance diseases. Well, back in primitive days, as a matter of fact, the name of this nutrition company that we have chosen is Ancient Nutrition. Back in the day, when you drug the animal to the fire to feed everybody in your cave, you may not have food again for 3 or 4 or 5 days or 2 weeks. So you ate the meat, you gnawed on the bone, you got the cartilage off the ends of the long bones, you made soup, you had bone broth, you got every part of that animal. And because you had such deficiencies calorically, your body would absorb all those building blocks and that glue to hold you together. Now, Alex, I am married to a woman that would probably starve before she would gnaw on the end of that chicken bone and get that collagen off of there. Now, if I told her it was pretty, made her hair and nails pretty, I might could talk her into it. But what we're finding is that nobody is getting this bone broth in the amounts that we need. And because we have so much else in our body, we're competing now with the absorption of these peptides because we just have so much stuff in there. So if we got down to just gnawing on the bone and that's all we had, we would honestly be in a primitive state, probably healthier than we are in our fairly luxurious existences. Okay, so we have diseases of abundance. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm going to go ahead and just say this: I've been in practice 27 years. And I really feel like this is true. And it seems like I always have confession time with Brother Alex. Well, here's another confession. So when I was going through chiropractic school, it was very common for the professors to say, you've got a misalignment or a bulging disc or whatever, pinching a nerve, and the pain or the dysfunction comes from that pinched nerve. So I want to give you another study that might put that into some amount of maybe some argument over that. So if Alex, if you and I are running through a grass field barefooted, okay, and of course I'm going to run faster than you, but if I was a few steps ahead of you and I'm barefooted and my foot hits the ground and the ground is uneven and I'm terrain mapping the unevenness of the ground, that impulse would go up my nerve to my spinal cord, to my brain, back down my spinal cord to my other foot before my foot lands. And that foot better know how to adapt to the terrain before I land, or I'm not going to be able to self-preserve. So there's all these delta C fibers in the spine that travel really, really fast, and all this proprioception and kinesthetics and all that type thing. And we've always been taught it's a nerve thing. But when they put an EEG on a cheetah, and a cheetah runs about 40 miles an hour, what they found out that the cheetah was 4 steps ahead of the nerve impulse. So what that means is the nervous system at best is a backup system to that actual information that's going into the central nervous system. So I want you to think in terms of the mapping system of the body as what I kind of refer to with my patients as a biomatrix. So we have all this stuff that is physical and chemical that goes together, that reports back to the nervous system, that makes us interpret our surroundings and our terrain, that helps us self-preserve and interact with each other and the terrain and the world we live in. And that is the matrix that holds us all together. And that matrix, 30% of that is proteins that come from collagen. So if we're short on the building blocks, we see people who have malfunctions with this, who have tremors, who have tendonitis, who have pain, who have, and you ever wonder why you get slower when you get older? Is because your nervous system can't handle how fast you're going. So if that cheetah doesn't slow down, he's gonna fall. What happens to athletes? Alex, I treated, you know him, I treated a 56-year-old professional athlete today who's still in a contact sport. How many guys at 56 are still, I may be exaggerating, he may be 55. I'm sorry, his birthday is in July. Either way, but we're getting high protein, we're getting good absorption of that protein, we're keeping the biomatrix strong. Now, those 10 things that we need, those 10 collagens, can I rapid fire them? Yeah. So collagen 1 is really our connective tissue. That's skin, bones, tendons, ligaments. It's fibrous tissue, and that's in our interstitial membrane. And then the interstitial stuff is like the fluid between the membrane and the actual connective tissue. So like when you're thinking like tendons and ligaments, that's type 1. Now, type 2 is the elastic, stretchy stuff. So like we want our joints to be able to have some play in them without everything ripping loose. So that type 2 stuff has got to be elastic. Okay. And so when we get to a certain age and we tear tendons and ligaments, this and that, it's simply because we're lacking type 2 collagen. Type 3 is what you're finding in muscles and arteries. That's what lines your organs. Ladies, type 4 is your skin. And Alex and I are more worried about our joints. But, I don't care how ugly I am. I just don't want to hurt anymore. So type 4 though, is skin. Now type 5 is skin, hair, real important for our young ladies because type 5 has a lot to do with the placenta. And that has everything to do with how healthy that baby might be and how you can give the precursors for that. And also for our older population with the cornea, so we don't have problems with our abrasions and lenses and cataracts and that type thing. And I have to tell you, in practice, I see so many more younger people having cataract surgery. You know, a lot of that's from high use of steroids and that type thing, but a lot of that is from collagen deficiency. Type 7, which is in our 10-4 Good Buddy formula, is our basement membrane. And our basement membrane is what allows the cell membranes to connect to the connective tissue. That is what I believe is the neurological component of our biomatrix that gives us that information so that we're not falling and our balance is good, our proprioception is good, our kinesthetics are good. Type 8, it's also in here. This is a big one. This is non-fibrillar, not non-fibrous. This is the stuff that is heart, brain, liver, lungs, and also the cartilage in the joints. So like if we're aging and we're worried about our heart muscle and we're worried about, we need type 8 collagen. And so the number one cause of death in the United States, 43 years in a row, is cardiovascular disease. So heart muscle is made from type 8 collagen peptides. So number one disease in the country, we definitely need to worry about this. Type 10 is cartilage. This is joint pain stuff. This is weekend warriors, middle-aged men who have aches and pains. And here's the thing, you don't hurt because you have a Motrin deficiency. You hurt because you have a type 10 collagen peptide deficiency. So you're not deficient Tylenol, you're deficient in collagen. And so if we have type 10 collagen, we can repair those joints. Ladies, type 12 also helps skin. It even has been shown in some studies maybe to help with stretch marks. So what's kind of curious is a lot of times those have been long lasting and been in existence for a long time. And we're starting to see maybe some reports that it even goes back and helps previous injuries. So type 12 helps skin repair. And then type 22 is a really big deal. And this is, Alex, what you were talking about with people feeling better day 6 or 7. That's the myotendinous junctions. And so for everybody out there who has another level of expertise, you're a business person or accountant or non-medical. So your muscle, as it differentiates and the big belly of the muscle gets smaller and ropier, that is the tendon, and the tendon attaches to bone. Well, where the muscle becomes tendon, that's a myotendinous junction, and that junction is should be full of collagen peptides. And if that is nutrified and we have all the building blocks we need, we can hang on to those attachment sites. So I tell some of my older people, if the building catches on fire, don't run, walk fast. But as soon as we get them all full of collagen, we're going to tell them to run, because those tendons will hold together and they won't tear their Achilles or their ACL or whatever with explosive motion. So those are the 10 types of collagen. Now, they come from 4 sources, and the number one, my opinion, the number one, and why I'm attracted to this formula, is that we have hydrolyzed bovine hide collagen peptides. Now, here's the thing, guys. The bovine source is hormone free, it's grain free. And so, Alex, we're going to have a grown-up conversation here for a second. So I remember my grandfather telling me, he said, son, now you got some decisions you're going to make as you go from a little boy to a man. And he said, so if you get attracted to a girl and you do certain things with that girl, realize you're going to be doing it with everybody she's ever done it with. And so you're not only going to be doing it with her, but everybody, right? So we've all heard the expression that we are what we eat, but I'm going to go one past that. We are what we eats. So if I do grain-fed beef, I'm eating the bread that the beef ate, so I'm eating the bread. Well, that's not going to work for my gluten-free existence. So if the cow eats grass, it's a grass-fed cow, and then I'm eating the salad, not the biscuit. And so I'm eating what I eats, and I'm okay with that. If it's hormone-free, it's antibiotic-free, it's grass-free. And so the cow's just like us. If we eat biscuits, we're fat and soft. And if somebody eats us, they're not going to get muscular. Which good for us. If at least we can get them back at the end, right? But if we have a really muscular, well-fed source, then we're getting the benefits from the collagen fibers that are in that. So we're what we eat eats, and so all animals are biological magnifiers of the foods that they eat, and they concentrate it for us, and they make our work real easy. Now, so the bovine sources are the adult sources of collagen. When you want to go back to the juvenile sources and get something young, we go back and think, just like we did in the animal kingdom, we go to eggs. And so they found a way to ferment these eggshell membranes and get the collagen fibers. And all 10 of these collagen fibers, I believe, are in the eggshell membranes. And then we talked about bones and tendons and cartilage and the type of collagen peptides that help us with joints. That's coming from the chicken bone broth. And then the neuroprotective things for brain and eyes, those are coming from the hydrolyzed fish collagen. So, Alex, that's a lot to unwrap there, but literally 10 different types of collagen from 4 sources. So we're back to where we started. 10-4, good buddy.
10-4, good buddy. Yeah, and let me add to that, and then we'll go to Q&A, Tim. And as far as your mood, your emotions, your feelings, your mental and emotional health, can these collagen peptides do anything to help with that, like the greens did from last week and like the ashwagandha did from the week before? And the answer is, you better believe it. And here's why. In this collagen peptides is a thing called glycine. What does glycine do? Well, one of the things it does is it activates serotonin in your brain, which balances your chemicals, your hormones, your mood. Okay, serotonin helps balance your mood. It helps, if you are down in the dumps, increase your mood. If you get a kick of serotonin and you are in a negative mood, you feel better. Okay, well, glycine is what does that, and that is absolutely in this. Now, let me ask you another question. One of the main things that collagen peptides do, besides the internal chemical stuff for your health and bones and being the glue that keeps everything together, and the 10-4 good buddy and all those benefits of that, probably the main thing that people talk about when they take this is dramatically increased energy in their day. So let me ask you a question. When your energy is low and then your energy gets way better, does that help your mood any?
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
Alex, can I comment on that just for a second?
Yeah,
we
sure.
talked about this biomatrix and this and that. If we're running through the grass in my previous discussion and we're really misfiring because we don't have a nutritional basis to get all those signals to fire, our nervous system is having to work itself to death simply to keep us from falling. And so when we make that work easier, we've got so much more energy that we're not doing for that simple task that should take almost no energy. So we have that surplus. Now, let me tell you this. I work with a ton of attention deficit disorder patients, and they're so challenging because I have to make them listen to me. But when I force them to listen to me, well, and we run around the room and whatever we have to do. And a lot of times I just say, listen, just do this, and I'll tell you why it worked when you're well. And but what happens is and I always give them the conversation. If I caught you at the pool at the nice resort reading a book, and I was up 18 stories in my room on the balcony with a telephoto lens, and I wanted to zoom in with the lens to read your book,
I'd have you arrested.
well, maybe, but before you had me arrested, I could read your book, but I would be exhausted having to do it that way. But I could do it. It would just take a lot of energy for me to do it. Well, if you made the process easier for me, made my body function better, put the book right in front of me, now I'm reading the book, same activity, but I've limited all the hindrances, and now it's not so much energy for me to have to do that. And so what you're talking about is you're removing the biomatrix effort to accomplish task. And at the end of that day, when we eliminate some of that effort, we have a surplus of energy, and that's what you're feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me share one other thing about glycine. And this is from a study from UCLA, and I'm reading, and it's very short, okay? One of the key reasons collagen may be helpful for mental health and well-being is that it plays a critical role in supporting the overall health of your brain. Research indicates collagen has the capacity to protect brain cells, and collagen supplements can boost your mood and put a pep back in your step. It is one of the primary amino acids found in collagen. And here's the key from UCLA study. Glycine is known to increase your serotonin levels. We already said that, but here's the key. Without simultaneously increasing dopamine levels. So it increases serotonin without increasing dopamine. Now, what is important about not increasing dopamine? Dopamine is the addiction thing. That's what gets you addicted. People who are addicted to pornography, they think they're addicted to pornography. And I believe it's the biggest addiction in the history of the world. And about 1 out of every 2 men clients I have today is addicted to pornography. Okay. Well, why? What's the deal about that? Well, one of the problems is they think they're addicted to pornography when they're not. They're addicted to chemicals. They're addicted to dopamine, not to porn. Okay. And a lot of men, it really helps them when they understand that. I'm not addicted to porn. I'm addicted to dopamine, which is a chemical in my brain. And the latest studies on porn, and get this, guys, this is unbelievable. When this research first came out, it was headline news, okay? You can have love in your brain that produces positive peptides, not the peptides in collagen, other peptides that make you feel better, okay, mood-wise and everything else. When your stress response is activated, it activates cortisol, dopamine, adrenaline, all that stuff that gives you more energy. It gives you more energy, but it causes your mood to be worse. You're angry, you're anxious, you're worried, something like that, okay? Well, you don't want increased energy from cortisol and adrenaline unless someone's chasing you with a knife or gun. And because if no one's chasing you with a knife or gun, then you're going to have cortisol and adrenaline and more energy for about 15 minutes. But then you're going to go into cortisol crash and you're going to be exhausted. And a lot of people are exhausted for the next 20 years of their life because they keep doing the same stuff that keeps activating stress or the HPA axis in their brain. All right. When you've got something like these collagen peptides with glycine that can increase serotonin and balance your mood and increase your mood if your mood is bad without increasing dopamine, which is the addiction thing, that's the magic formula, guys. Increasing serotonin without increasing dopamine, that's the mood elevator without addiction and the negative stuff. It's only positive energy, not the negative energy of stress and cortisol crash. So this collagen peptide, the main thing that people who use it will typically say, besides their joints not hurting anymore, their gut feels better and all of that, is, boy, my energy is just so much better. But that is not fight or flight energy. That's healthy, positive, serotonin-based energy, not dopamine energy. Okay, so does this help mood? You better believe it does. And so does ashwagandha and the greens. So you're getting these three things that supply 95% of your daily basic needs, but they do so much more than that. Yes, they are fabulous for your mood and those positive emotions and causing the negative emotions to go down, because when your positive, healthy energy is up, so is your mood.
Dr. Alex, one comment on that, and I don't disagree. Totally great. I would encourage everybody on the glycine thing to investigate how glycine affects your blood sugar. So that really is a cleanup on aisle 3 with that. And everything, my opinion, is everything's related to blood sugar. And then speaking of that, when we talk about refined carbohydrate, let's just say the ugly word, gluten. When we talk about that, we're talking about leaky gut. And when so literally there's something called zonulin, and the zones in your gut will increase and those gaps will get bigger. And our gut, Alex, is supposed to leak a little bit so we can get little bitty vitamins and minerals to the cells. But when we eat lots of gluten, hybridized wheat, then our zones get so big, these monster protein particles can get through there. And when those monster protein particles get through there, we have a inflammatory response, and our gut gets so bad, it won't make serotonin. Your gut's supposed to be 90% of your serotonin. When we take the collagen peptides, we're filling in, remember the glue? We're filling in the gaps, so our gaps get small again, so the vitamins and minerals can get out, especially if they're from super greens. But the proteins that cause a non-protein immunologic reaction don't get out, so we calm down our systemic gut inflammation and our leaky gut, and then our gut functions better, and we make more serotonin. I said, much more boring manner, what Alex said, but that's the mechanism.
Yeah, you're boring, right? With the hat and sunglasses and all that.
Well, we try.
Okay, so let me give you one last thing before we open it up for Q&A. Tim shared with you the 10-4, which is absolutely huge. But is there something else that makes this particular collagen peptide protein unique from the 1,000 others that are out there? And there is. This is the only collagen supplement brand currently on the market in the world with a proprietary fermented eggshell membrane collagen ingredient that's backed by human clinical trials, proven in real day-to-day with real people taking it over time results. It's the only one that has that in the world. It's brand new. It's never been available before. So like we talked about last week, where the greens with the once daily and all that stuff is available for the first time in the world, so is this. All right. So Alex,
let me throw something else in there too. The glue, and we keep going back to that word. One of the things that makes this collagen as a cofactor work better, and I don't know if Dr. Josh gets credit for this or Dr. Jordan or both of them together, but they have a clever mixture of vitamin C compounds that they've added to this. And you got stuck between a conversation about me and Jordan about his mushroom farm, and oh my gosh, I'd love to go see it. But his mushroom source is all these fantastic different species, and I bet you that's where he's sourcing out those vitamin C compounds. They also put a little bit of probiotic in that mixture just to help with absorption and gut regulation to top off the formula. It's really critiquing it and comparing it to many, many different collagen peptide products. I'm impressed beyond what I thought was possible.
Yeah, I think you said a key word there, that everyone needs to remember about these products. You said their farms. And to me, that is critical, because most nutrition that you get is completely outsourced. Okay. It's a company.
Alex, most of it's from China.
Yeah. And they get this from this company, this from this company, this from this company, this from this company. So it may be, if it has, let's say, 20 ingredients, 19 of them may be really good, but one of those outsourced companies may be garbage that ruins the whole thing. These are from their farms. They're from their farms. That's why it's the only certified organic private label line currently in the entire world, because it's from their farms.
And Alex, are you going to go with me, and me and you get to dig in the dirt there and pull some of these out?
Absolutely. We've already been invited. And
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can go too. Their farms are open to the public. They absolutely have, you can go, you can walk the farm, you can see where they're making everything. You can ask them questions. I mean, you got to let them know you're coming, but they are open to the public. And there's a reason for that. They want everyone to know that this is not outsourced. They want them to come to Missouri and Tennessee, where some of the main farms are, and see why this is the only certified organic line in the world. And these mixtures, these chemistry experiment mixtures that have never been cracked before, are so much better than what we had like 5 years ago. It's a major step up, which means a major boost for your health that maybe wasn't available 5 years ago.
Alex, is this where the flying chickens are?
We'll see. I bet there's some turkeys there. All right. So, Tim, you want to add anything else before we see if we have any questions?
Brother, I don't know that we're missing anything. I think we were trying to wrap it up nice and tidy, and I really think this is the crown jewel. And I think it's very complementary with the cofactors and the super greens, and then the emotional support with ashwagandha. So it's a fantastic triumvirate.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, the links are in the webinar chat over on your right. I believe you can see those. If for any reason you can't, all of these are posted on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Dr. Alexander Loyd, and it'll come right up. And there's several series there. A lot of them have nothing to do with this, but you'll find the Got Pain series, and every one of them are labeled as to what they're about. And so last week's is the first one you'll see there. Now tomorrow, this one will be the first one you see. So if you miss the links or anything, go to YouTube and it's all there. Okay. Tim, we've got a question for you from Kevin.
Okay.
And I'm gonna read it. Kevin says, I have the super pack, all three, and I've done it for just a few days and I feel amazing. Do you still recommend weed, seed, and feed with the berberine prebiotic and probiotic?
Okay, so Alex, that's a great question, and I would go beyond the weed, seed, and feed to all of the other things we did in the podcast. So I think your number is a little higher than mine. I think you said you thought this was 95% of what somebody needed. Yeah. I think my number is probably 85 or 90% of everything.
Well, that number didn't come from me, to be fair. That came from the medical doctor scientist that I sent the ingredient list to.
Yes,
that's
sir.
What he said.
Well, so here's my thoughts on that, and let's think about this reasonably. If I live long enough and I do this 3 things in 2, 3, 6, 8, 10 months, will I be? I'll be better in 6 days. But now, how bad am I when I start? So if my gut's a mess, if my weight's a mess, if my hormones are low, if I've got a parasite infection, if I've got a yeast problem, and I did these 3 things, would I eventually get well? Probably. But if we want to get better faster,
yeah.
Well, and so I had one of my patients that looked at our weed, seed, feed thing and said, so it's curious to me that you chose berberine for the weed formula. And I said, well, okay, so here's the thing. Berberine kills archaea bacteria. It's not the only thing that cleans up the gut, but berberine can lower your bad cholesterol, and berberine can help your sugar. So almost everybody who's got a bad gut has bad cholesterol and bad sugar. So I was trying to get as many bad things fixed as I could. In my practice, I may use, in addition to that, something to kill parasites, something to get rid of mucoid plaque, something to, and we get there and get absorption faster. But we're trying to hit as much human element as with a podcast as possible. So this information is great, but it's not all inclusive. So I would if you heard us say tonight, gut. And if I get hit by a train and you don't know what to do, you have a health issue, start with your gut and work your way from there. Absolutely, I would do weed, seed, and feed until I had no gas. I had great digestion. I wasn't bloated. My stools looked like a cylinder, had no muck at all. And I have to tell you this, I really believe that we should only buy toilet paper to prove to ourselves we don't need any. And so
I was just going to ask you, so are you one of those guys that every time you use the bathroom, you have to examine it?
I am a stool gazer. Yes, sir. And so,
I am not. I don't want to see that.
Well, so I like to celebrate my accomplishments, and I have to tell you, brother, I really believe if you can get toilet paper dirty, your gut is not where it needs to be. And so I will say with complete emphasis, I probably have 28 or 29 days a month where I can't even get my toilet paper dirty. Okay. So there's no bleeding. There's no muck. There is no residual. And that's where I want everybody to be. When your gut's in that level of function, we can get these things like peptides and super greens. We can get them in there. We can get a much faster progression with serotonin and all those things. So anyway, long way to answer that.
Okay. Eileen wants to know, can you remind us when to take the berberine and glutathione, morning or night?
So really with berberine and glutathione both. Now, so being clear, berberine is kind of a guttish thing, and so gut breakfast dinner is what I do, and glutathione liver. I take glutathione after dinner before bed. And Alex, you know my background. I'm a hardcore old kinesiology guy. The liver meridian and the liver function, your liver cleans your body between 1 and 3 a.m. So if you take glutathione in the morning, it will help you during the day. But if you're going to take it once, take it at night, because if we pee or if we tinkle 6 to 10 times a day, we're out of glutathione before the liver has a chance to do much with it. So I'm a big fan of glutathione in the evening.
Okay, and then we got another question. I think I can answer this one, but you answer it too.
No, go ahead.
Can you mix super greens and collagen in the same water? And I do every single morning, and that was on the advice of the medical doctor, scientist, researcher that I talked to about this, who said, this is the best thing I've ever seen. In my opinion, everyone on the planet needs to be taking these three things. And this should do about 95%. That's what he said. And he told me, take them both in the morning together with the ashwagandha. What's your 2 cents, Tim?
I totally buy into that. The only thing I would tell you is I would not take that. I think it's a waste of money to take all those good things with like a psyllium fiber solution, because I think that pushes it through your system so fast, you can't absorb it. So that would be my only contraindication.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll give you 1 or 2 more minutes. If someone else has a question, that's all the questions we've got right now. Oh, okay. We got another one. Okay. This is for you, Tim. What are some white trash substitutes? Is wheat bread good? Maybe some snack options, brown rice, pasta?
Okay. What a great question. So I would tell you this.
Hey, I'm impressed that he remembered your white trash thing.
Well, so he'll be saying 10-4 good buddy next week, hopefully. So that's the wisdom you learn here, right? But I like to keep things memorable, and we all know that white things are bad for us. But here's the thing, guys. I would encourage all of you guys to make carbohydrate your slave not your master. And so what we find out is that carbohydrates, and Alex, your expertise more than mine, carbohydrates are a tremendous dopamine response. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what happens is if we eat a lot of carbohydrate, our blood sugar goes up, and then our body dumps insulin, so our blood sugar goes way down. So we want more sugar. So if we eat very little carbohydrate, we make very little insulin. And by the way, type 2 diabetes is 3 times higher than it was when I started practicing 25 years ago, because we're running out of insulin by the end of our lives because we're eating too much carbohydrate. But if we get less of the carbohydrate, we make less insulin, we have less insulin, our sugar doesn't go down as much. And so here is the ultimate of how you make this your slave is, so I had a lunch the other day where I had about 10 minutes, and my assistant of 24 years could not believe she saw me eating this. Alex, I had a double cheeseburger.
Hey, that sounds good.
But I had no drink, and I had no fries, and I had no bun. So yeah. I
usually take the bun off.
I used a knife and a fork, and I cut those 2 beef patties up, and I saw 31 patients and worked 11 hours on 400 calories, and my blood sugar was fabulous, and I felt euphoric after the 31st person 11 hours later. Now, can
I share a story real quick?
Please.
A lot of people don't know this. There was a movie named Alive, A-L-I-V-E. And before the movie was a book, and it was the true story of a plane crash with a bunch of Olympic athletes. And it crashed in the mountains where it was freezing cold and snow, and no one rescued them for a long time. Okay. And here's the amazing thing about that story is that they had no food. Now they could melt water, they could melt snow for water, but they had no food. So the tragedy that it was when people started to die, they ate their flesh because it's the only thing they had. Okay. Flesh, meat, red meat. They ate red meat the whole time. All of them. Okay. Finally, they were rescued. Now you got to remember, these are world-class Olympic athletes at the height of their peak performance. Okay. Here's the amazing thing. As soon as they were rescued, of course, they took them all to the hospital and had them checked over for medical attention, right? Drew blood, the whole 9 yards. Believe it or not, but it's true. Every one of their numbers were better than when they had gone to the Olympics.
No white trash.
That's right. No white trash.
So
Isn't that unbelievable? That's unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable at all. So your carbohydrates, and one of my professors used to say, do not be fuelish with your diet. And all carbohydrates is fuel. And so, matter of fact, it's cheap fuel, and it makes the engine knock. If we can get to ketosis, which is there's a process in your body called gluconeogenesis, and you make glucose from protein. So it makes your body work really hard to do that. And so if we're using our protein to make our sugar, and by the way, if you're trying to lose weight, that you're making sugar from protein. So we need a high fat diet. And so when I want to go eat chips, I go eat macadamia nuts or pistachios, because those are good gut flora. And by the way, Alex, macadamia is good for your hair. So if you get a bald spot, eat lots of macadamias. And then you have to cut your fingernails twice a week.
Hair's okay. About the only thing I don't have to worry about.
Well, there you go. So fat is the part of your diet that gives you what we refer to as satiety. So the thing that makes me neurologically, emotionally feel full is fat. And so I would tell you, you can't be a sugaraholic, just like you can't be an alcoholic. I can't tell an alcoholic, you know what, today we're going to go to the bar, we're only going to have 2 drinks. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
And with the carbaholic, I can't tell you, let's just do waffles and a sandwich, but we'll have a healthy dinner. You've got to make it your slave, and you've got to stomp it out. And you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer a little bit for a week or nine or 10 days, but then you're going to be really proud of yourself, and you're going to conquer your demons. And the key to it is don't be hungry. And if you're going to choose between sugar and sugar substitutes, totally do sugar. Alex, I'd rather you drink tequila at church on the front row on Sunday morning than have a Diet Coke.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. And so no sugar fake stuff. Sugar's better than not sugar. And I would say sugar has some nutrient sources in it, and in small amounts. Don't do the bleached white stuff, because then you have bleach in it. But if you do the organic sugars in small amounts, that's not terrible, but get control of your blood sugar.
Yeah. Okay. Kevin says, I've been doing some studying and implementing. Love the podcast! ! Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin, that's why we do it, man. It sounds like you are doing some work, and it sounds like you're doing some good stuff. And so I salute you, and I always enjoy to sit back and watch somebody to better themselves. So sounds like you're on the express lane.
All right. The first podcast we did, Tim, we went way over time. The next ones, we've been pretty close. Tonight, we're a little bit early. So any final comments? That's all the questions we have.
So I would give everybody a homework assignment. I always like to give all of my patients, when they leave me, a homework assignment, and I'll scratch a little note on my files, see if they come back and do their homework. My homework assignment would be for next week in the chat. Why don't you guys tell us topics in the future, that health topics that you would be interested in having a shrink wrap with our resident expert here, and see if we can't do that with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Alex, brother, thank you for having me. I love doing this with you, and thank you guys and I hope we made it as simple as 10-4, good buddy. And I think we cleared up that we have flying chickens, and so I don't know where any confusion could be, right?
God bless you, everybody. Please tell your friends. We believe we're going to change the face of health over the next 5 years with our partners at Ancient Nutrition. And we would love for you to be there with us and help your friends that need some help with their health or mood today. We believe we can help. But thank you for being here. Whether you buy anything or not, I don't care. I just wish you a wonderful, blessed, happy, healthy life.
Okay. Alex, we'll see you next week. Laura, thank you, dear, for helping us.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you,
guys.
God bless you, everyone. Love you. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.